Who's that? Who's the baby? Who's that baby? Who's that baby? Oh, is that the dog? Is that the dog? You like the dog, don't you? Hi guys! Today we're going to do Sophie's 5-month update. Today is the day that she turned 5 months. So I'm right on the money with this one. I weighed her this morning and she weighs 15 pounds, 13 ounces, which is just a little bit shy of 16 pounds. A lot has happened this month. Let's start with the biggest thing that she did this month, and that is we had our first international trip. It involved 3 flights, so we had 2 layovers, and one of those flights was basically 12 hours long. So it was a very long international trip, and we took that trip to see her grandparents who live overseas. Those are my husband's parents and also his grandmother. So she got to meet her grandparents and her great-grandma on my husband's side of the family, and it was really an amazing trip. I was really nervous before the international flight because, you know, you never know how your baby is going to behave. And she could have screamed the whole way, she could have been miserable, but actually turned out she was a really good traveler and pretty much slept for most of the flight. So for the long one, like for the 12-hour flight, she was basically sleeping the whole time. Now, one of the things that has been new for her this past month is that she has started to become aware of who's holding her, and she's definitely showing a preference to be held by either me or my husband. And what I mean by that is she is starting to experience stranger danger. And unfortunately, that seemed to happen right when we went to visit her grandparents, because right when we met them, you know, I wanted her to be able to spend time with them and for them to hold her. But she was just then starting to experience the stranger danger, so I handed her to my mother-in-law, and she took one look at her and just started crying. Sophie, I mean, started crying because she didn't know her. It was a stranger. And I felt so bad because obviously you want that meeting to go so well, but it's okay. Everybody understood. She's a baby. She's going through the stage. And over time, like as we stayed with them, she definitely warmed up to them, and it was really sweet. And by the end of it, they were holding her, and it was no big deal. But she's definitely starting to cry when I hand her to somebody new. And it's everybody across the board. If anybody I hand her to, she looks startled. She looks at them, she looks back at me, she looks back at them, and then her bottom lip curls under and she just starts to cry. And it's pretty cute. But yeah, by the way, in case you're curious, she is right now staring at our dog. She's absolutely obsessed with the dog. She loves all animals. My in-laws have a dog and a cat, so she met her first cat, and she loved both of them. She's just absolutely obsessed with animals, dogs, cats. She's also started to grab absolutely everything, and she was doing that last month too, but I feel like this past month it's just becoming more, and she's getting better at it. So she's starting to do things like she'll grab things with just one hand instead of, you know, reaching out like this and picking something up. She's able to grab with one hand or with the other. She's able to, you know, do it's just like bigger kid stuff. She's definitely always grabbing her her feet. She likes to suck on her big toe, and anytime, you know, I put her down to change her, she's got her feet up in her hands and is sucking on her toes, and she can, you know, really occupy herself for a long time just playing with her feet. Right now she's trying to grab this laundry basket full of cloth diapers. We're still cloth diapering, although I have to say when we went on that international trip she was in disposables because I could not figure out a way to do cloth diaper laundry on that. First of all, I would have had to keep all my cloth diapers that we used on that like over 24-hour trip to get there, and then to do laundry while we were there using international washing machines that I have no idea how to use. I wasn't going to try to do that. So she was in disposable diapers on our trip. besides grabbing everything she can reach and her feet, she also likes to grab stuff, like use her hands while she's nursing, which is pretty cute. So nursing, by the way, is going really well. I feel like 5 months we have absolutely like hit our stride. She's knows exactly what she's doing. I feel like my supply is finally in check. I was dealing with oversupply issues for a long time, and I feel like now my body knows what it's doing, and breastfeeding has become very easy and enjoyable for both of us. And it's really cute. While she's nursing, she often she does this, like will play with my shirt and put it on her face, and just what she does with her hands is just so sweet when she's nursing. Besides nursing, she did get her first taste of food this last month. She didn't exactly consume anything, but she has just been so interested in food, like when we're eating. I don't know if it's that she wants to eat it or that she knows how to do that yet, but she just is interested in what we're doing and wants to put everything in her mouth anyway. So what I did was I finally gave in, and we were eating sliced cucumber. And so I thought that was the perfect thing for her just to like suck on. And so I held the cucumber and I, sort of put it to her mouth, and she, was really happy and just sucked on the cucumber slice and absolutely loved it. She kind of gummed on it and sucked on it, and that was it. Like, she did that a couple times, and after that she actually kind of lost interest in food. So I tried a couple other things and she wasn't really interested. I tried a carrot slice for her to just suck on, and she wasn't really interested in it anymore. But she did experience her first taste of real food, and it was a cucumber. So the other thing that she has really mastered this month is sitting. I would say at this point she's pretty much sitting unassisted. And she loves it. It's her favorite thing to do. She doesn't love being on her back or on her stomach, although she'll do it for a little bit of time. She did roll over once, but she has not done it again. She rolled over from her stomach to her back, and I think it was completely by accident. She didn't really know what she had done, and she hasn't replicated it, but she does love sitting, and she will sit and play like a big girl. Her favorite thing to do is just to sit with some toys around her and, reach out and grab them, grab stuff, and she can do that for a really long time. Now, I do still need to sit close because occasionally she'll like throw herself back and it's too far and she'll fall, and so I need to be there to catch her. But most of the time, even if she like throws herself back too far, she can correct and pull herself back up. So she's getting really good at sitting on her own, and I'd say by the next month she'll probably not need assistance at all. Like, she won't even need me sitting there to watch her. So the other first for her this month, and it happened because we traveled, I think, my husband and I both picked up a slight cold. It wasn't terrible, but for about a week we were really congested. I lost my voice, runny nose, there was some coughing at the end of it. Anyway, I think she picked that cold up, and so she officially got her first cold. Now, it wasn't nearly as bad as our cold was. She just got a little bit congested, and that was pretty much the extent of it. I think that's to do with breastfeeding, because when you breastfeed, your baby gets your antibodies, and so I wonder if she picked up the same cold that I did, and she was getting the antibodies specifically for that cold, and so it never really got that bad. But she definitely got like a lesser version of the cold that we had. We treated it with saline. I was like really diligent with putting saline drops, and that seemed to help with her congestion, because poor thing, the worst part of it was when she got congested and she would try to nurse, and just the she was like, couldn't breathe through her nose while she was nursing, so that was kind of hard for her to nurse. But that didn't last for very long, and the saline helped her be able to nurse despite the congestion, and it was fine. So we got through it. That was one of the things I was afraid of, was the first time she'd get sick. I was really scared about what it would be like, and honestly, it was not that bad. This little one is super resilient. Yeah, you're really resilient, and she got over it pretty quickly. Breastfeeding was the best thing for it, I think. Yeah, yes, it was. No, yeah, it was. Do you see yourself in there? Do you see yourself? Yeah. She is talking a lot. Like, she is starting to do new things with her voice. She's experimenting with sounds all the time. One of the things she likes to do is this sound like, And my mom heard her hear that once over FaceTime, and she said, I wonder if she's saying hi. And you know what? Maybe, because that's one of the words that absolutely everybody says to her. Hi, hi, hi. And if you have a baby, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. I find myself saying it all the time to her, hi, and strangers say it all the time. So who knows? Maybe that's what she's trying to do when she goes, huh, huh, huh. But along with that, she's doing lots of other sounds. She goes, she makes this grunty sound. She will just sit and babble and talk to her toys, to her feet, to me, to anybody. So that's another thing that's new. What else? In just the last couple days, just like I'd say 3 or 4 days before she hit 5 months, she finally found her thumb. I have caught her consistently putting her thumb in her mouth. Like, it didn't just happen once by accident. She did it once, sort of figured it out, and she's been doing it a lot now these last few days. She's not exactly sucking on it, but she puts it in her mouth and will kind of, you know, chew on it and play with it. She also likes her fingers, and she'll suck on her fingers. But yeah, the thumb is the new thing, and we'll see if that continues or if she actually starts sucking on it and becomes a thumb sucker. Finally, the last thing that I'll say she hit developmentally this month is her sleep. So up until now, I've been talking about how difficult it has been for her to sleep on her own, and how we're still sleeping, you know, very close to each other because that's the only way she will get sleep. Well, while we were on vacation, actually, she finally started sleeping on her own. Like, she's still sleeping in bed with us, next to us, but she likes to be on her own. So when we came back home, I actually tried putting her in her co-sleeper. We bought a DockATot. I know it's expensive, but that was one of the things we bought because we were desperate to find a way to get her to sleep. And so since we got home, I tried putting her in her DockATot, and it worked. Like, she's actually able to sleep through the night in her DockATot. And for the last 3 or 4 nights, she has been, I'll put her to bed at like 7:30 after a bath and story time, and I'll nurse her, and then she falls asleep, and she will stay in her DockATot, maybe wake up twice to nurse, but I keep her in the DockATot and just feed her with her still laying in it, and she'll sleep until 6 or 7 in the morning. So she's sleeping almost for a full night on her own in her DockATot. Yeah, yeah, you are. I know, we're almost done with the video. So that's really good news, and I feel like just developmentally she's ready for it now. Something changed in her this last month, and she's ready to sleep on her own, and she's doing it. She's even taking naps in her DockATot, which Mommy is very proud of. So, as you can see, she's getting kind of done with this video, so I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. This is also the last time that you'll see this background for a video because we're actually moving this month. So I'll talk more about that in her next update. But yeah, in actually just a couple days, we are moving across the country. And the best thing about the move is that we are going to be living in the same town as my parents. So she's going to have grandparents living really close to her soon, and we're really excited for that. So next update will be with a different background. Wish us luck with that move, and until then, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. Bye. Thanks for watching. I'm 5 months old now. Yeah, I'm not gonna cry to say bye. I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna smile. Yeah. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye bye!